So that's why they were hanging back there the whole time. All right. Well, let me just introduce our panel. These are 4 directors that are working with North Carolina Stage Company this year in our 7th season. The first director we have on our panel is Ron Bashford. Ron studied music and liberal arts at Amherst College and then went on to earn his Master's of Fine Arts at the Professional Theater Training Program at the University of Delaware. He's directed shows of almost every genre at a variety of regional theaters and as guest artist at Southwestern University, University of Delaware, and Warren Wilson College. He is also the theatrical director for the contemporary musical ensemble Sequitur, or Sequitur, in New York City, with an UR, and has worked with the dance company Terrain. Mm-hmm. All right. And all in all, has directed over 50 productions and multimedia projects. He was invited last year to join the Lincoln Center Theater Directors Lab, where he conducted a non-traditional experiment into Shakespeare's Macbeth, inspired by the work of the director Peter Brook. Currently, he directs at Warren Wilson College as well as teaches, in addition to directing professionally. For North Carolina Stage Company, he's directed 9 productions, including Moonlight Magnolias last year, Midsummer Night's Dream, Macbeth, and Art. He tied himself for the Mountain Express Best of 2003 for both Hamlet and Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Yes. And this year he's directing our production of A Number by Caryl Churchill. Please welcome Ron Bashford. The second person on our panel is Angie Flynn McKeever. She's also the producing director and co-founder of North Carolina Stage Company. She's a graduate of Smith College. She also worked as a freelance director in New York City and was on the staff of the National Shakespeare Company, where she founded and ran the education program and directed a national tour of Twelfth Night. She also directed The Big Random at White River Theater Festival in Vermont and co-directed Cabaret Américain at the Avignon Theater Festival in Avignon, France. As an assistant director, she worked at the award-winning off-Broadway company Playwrights Horizons and on the Broadway production of Sacrilege, starring Ellen Burstyn and Giancarlo Esposito. For North Carolina Stage Company, she has directed many, many things, including Shakespeare's R&J, A Wrinkle in Time, Midwives, Proof, Twelfth Night, the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged, A Doll's House, The Dresser, and this year she is, in fact, right now, just coming fresh from rehearsal, directing Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. Please welcome Angie Flynn McKeever. Hans Meyer grew up in Atlanta, educated at Guilford College in Greensboro, and spent some time in New York and Chicago before coming to Asheville, where he is currently the artistic director of Immediate Theater Project, which is North Carolina Stage Company's
Partner Company in Residence.
Partner Company in Residence. It's a very, very meticulous title we have. For that company, which is a great company that we work with a lot, he directed All My Sons, a fantastic play which has a production running on Broadway recently or just recently closed. Copenhagen and the double feature of On the Verge and Below the Belt. For North Carolina Stage Company, he has directed It's a Wonderful Life, a live radio play by Joe Landry, as well as this season's Doubt, a Parable by John Patrick Shanley. Please welcome Hans Meyer. Jay Putnam received his MFA in directing from UNC Greensboro and is currently a professor of acting and directing at High Point University. He's also the former associate or artistic associate at Triad Stage in Greensboro, which started about a year and a half before North Carolina Stage Company. For Triad Stage, Jay directed Proof and Infinite Ache, On Golden Pond, Syncopation, Sleuth, and Dracula, as well as the inaugural production of their Upstage Cabaret. And what is that, Jay? That's
Dracula was the inaugural production.
Oh, I see. There's a comma there. All right.
I apologize. How dare I?
Other plays he's directed include Almost Maine, which I need to ask you about, An Enemy of the People, The Real Thing, and Fool for Love. His next directing project is A Beautiful View by Daniel McIver, right here at North Carolina Stage in June of 2009. Please welcome Jay Putnam. So I want you to feel free to answer these questions in any particular format, and if you can't direct yourselves internally, I will then point to you. But I talked about this as I get fascinated with the way directors work, and I'm interested in how you prepare for directing a production in terms of research or casting, design. You know, do you come up with a concept, or do you try to find the concept, whatever that means? What are your thoughts on that? Anybody? Jay, you look like you're about to speak.
Make the new guy go first.
Make the new guy go first.
I teach intro to theater sometimes, and I had a class this morning, and teaching intro to theater the morning after Super Bowl Sunday to a bunch of disinterested 18-year-olds feels like what Charlie just felt. What? I'm at that place with a beautiful view. We cast this play maybe a month ago, and it goes into rehearsal in about 3 months or so. So I'm still at that kind of reading and dreaming place where I'm just kind of trying to actively and inactively let it in. Just kind of not at the place of reading it every day, but it's a play that I didn't know before Angie and Charlie sent it to me. And a play that is different in some ways than plays I've read. It's very lyrical. It gets very poetic. It's a great play to kind of read right before bed and then have wonderful dreams about. So I'm kind of in that place. Mm-hmm. The two women in it form a band, a two ukulele band called Ucular. I'm hopefully not spoiling the play too much. So one of my Christmas presents was a ukulele that I'm trying to pluck
Really,
away
you
at.
have a ukulele?
I do
Because
have
I
a
just
ukulele.
attended a production meeting for Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and they said, "Does anybody know anybody with a ukulele?" So, all right, I'm checking things off my list of things to do.
So it's that kind of thing of trying to get the formal work on it is progressing as well, but the kind of it's the going in sideways for me right now of how to dream about it a little bit and let it in a less kind of formal analytical way.
What is it you want to figure out about it, or
I want to figure out what's not going to come from the strict analysis. I know how to tell this story, I think, but I think there's, especially with this play more than other plays I've done, I think there's some imagery, there's some poetry, there's some pieces of these two women that I want to let in through a back door, I guess.
Okay,
I can't put it better than that.
right. Well, in terms of you know, a regular way of working, do you?
It's reading and rereading and chopping it apart into, you know, I find that some of our most important work as directors is telling a clean story, and just really cleanly chopping apart and making sure that story is understandable and well told. So,
And that's what you mean by clean.
Yeah.
Because there's actually some four-letter words in this play, if I remember correctly.
a well-told story. Most well-told stories I know have some good four-letter words.
There you go. There you go. Hans, you care to chime in?
Well, I suppose it depends on the play, really, but sort of some of the standard things are you can investigate some other stuff that the playwright has done, try to find out what the playwright's voice is. I think one of the most important and sometimes the hardest thing for me is to really figure out what my particular in is for the play, and figure out how does the play resonate with me personally. Whether or not I have a strong feeling towards it the first time I read it, it may still be really hard to articulate that. So it's spending a lot of time with the text, going over it and over it and over it, and chopping it up to, you know, and find out its sort of constituent parts. But to find out where it really particularly resonates with me is the most important thing for preparation.
Cool.